welcome to yet another episode of Moments with Mantsoe. It's so good to be back. But more than anything, I'm really excited for today's episode. I'll tell you what it took to shoot this. This is when we put together a list of guests that we want on the show. This was definitely in the top 5 people that we have to sit down with. But this is a very busy man. In fact, right now we're talking to him and he has to rush to an audition. That's how busy he is. But he's managed to squeeze us in between his schedule. Ladies and gents, please help me welcome the legendary Nawa.
Hey, hello. Hello, Haiti.
How are you?
I'm good, and myself.
I am so happy. I've wanted to interview you on radio for so long. I've wanted to interview you on this podcast for so long, and to be able to sit down with you, for me, is a privilege, because I think not a lot of people can say they've experienced someone that they are fascinated by on a personal level.
All right.
Don, let's talk when I met you. Quickly get it out the way.
All right.
Met you a couple of years ago at my friend's wedding. My friend was your son on Isidingo.
Okay.
He plays Sichaba.
Yeah.
My cousin, actually. Did I say my friend?
Yeah.
My cousin. And I remember when I met you, I was like, oh my gosh. And I was still young. I think I was at YFM at the time. But I was like, I would really love to sit down with this person and pick their brain. Because the whole time we were sitting at the table, I was just listening to you and thinking, what a great storyteller, even in his natural self and not as an actor. Have you always been that kind of person that knows how to capture people?
Yeah, when I grew up, I wasn't aware, even in class when I was still at school. I would always have my audience, people listening to me. Some of these stories I'll create them myself. A
bit of spice to keep the crowd going. Where did you grow up? Paint a picture of your childhood for me.
I grew up to Boksbeek. Boksbeek is in the East Rand, in Mlangeni. The township then was called Stedenville. It's Racha Park now, Makalat. Then we moved to Foslores, Force Removal. So that's where I grew up. I grew up in Foslores up until Kitwela School, and then I moved to Joburg. Those are my spans, I'll act.
But before the acting thing, and before you decided to move from the east to Uzloza, growing up, you had aspirations of sport. I was. You were a soccer player.
Soccer player, yes.
And a friend did art or acting, and you convinced yourself that if this person can do it, so can I.
Actually, he was my classmate, and we are also Boy Scout together with the guy.
Okay.
So, you know how it happened? One teacher would write a play, and all school kids would be invited to go to the hall and watch the show. And suddenly, Kishability show will see this guy on stage, and he's a lead. With my good gracious, I didn't like to join, so that I joined the group, but I didn't have a part then.
Yes.
So I joined. I loved the singing, the dances and stuff. Until one day, Babali show in Davidton, and one of the cast members wasn't there, and I got a chance, and I did my best, and the rest is history.
The power of showing up as an understudy, hey?
Yeah.
And when someone's not there and shining and making sure.
Actually, the culture of working hard, of wanting to achieve something, has been with me from my childhood.
Let's talk about that culture. Where does it come from? Is it something that you honed personally, or you saw it at home?
Even though I didn't want to go. I grew up in Fosteras. I'm a child who both parents denied. Didn't want to take responsibility of this child. My mom went to Welkom to train as a nurse. My dad lived in Welkom. His father was a priest. And then out of their relationship, this is the end product. And the two of them, my mom had to go, leave school, go back home. And then my father didn't want to take any responsibility. I think because he was still young, he was doing teacher's training then. So both of them didn't take responsibility of this end product. So my mom's sister took care of me. So I grew up in a house where we were about 16 in a house.
You're the cousin.
Yeah, so you have to make meals from childhood. So from then, you have to fend for yourself from that age.
What age did you come to Joburg to come look for a job?
I think I did 19, 20. I was 20.
And you left everyone at home and you were like, time to go hustle.
Actually, I wanted to be a teacher, but then bare nyugu fit.
Yeah.
Kare I na Josie Mbone, ke batla ile act.
There's another way of Gereza.
Yeah, because I was doing actually Gabo 1976 doing the same play the teacher and the guy I don't know if you know Ken Kamputsa for Sloras.
Yes.
So Ken this
Legend.
teacher is invite a show at Loshebella.
Oh, wow.
So he picked about 4 of us and he recommended that we should go to Doke House. I don't know, some people don't know what Doke House is. Doke House ki center ya batho ba batsho ne ile go Ilof extension still exists, the building is still there. That's where Miriam Makeba, all Kefas Menya, Gibson Kent, all those people were never sebetsa mo. Most musicians ba South Africa ba before Bo Ipintombi and other things were there. So we were the last generation and the last group.
Was it like a theater space where everyone used
theater,
it?
music, films, and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
At the age of 16, I had an opportunity to Ubona Roger Mo. And all these actors because they would come. But it's at the game of vultures, never just to see aspiring actors from South Africa. So I'm product mo. So yeah, but from the doc 70, 76, 77, 78, 79, I did that for 3 years. So basically my background there acting it's more.
You did a lot of theater then leading up to us finally seeing you on television, right? But I remember the first time I saw you and I was so scared of that character. Okay. But we'll come to that. What was the one audition that you, at the beginning of your career, you walked out of and you were like, I got this. I think my life is about to change. Because I imagine you auditioned quite a bit before you got your big first gig.
Yeah, but audition is an audition. There's a different system how South African production houses conduct auditions. Yeah. They just give you a piece of script, a page or a scene, about a page or two.
Yeah.
You hardly know what the story, how the story is, or what the story goes, or the synopsis. They don't give you the background. Just do that and you walk away. I've never felt anything, especially with the one that I think launched me was Hlala Kwabafileyo. I auditioned for Uzuzumuzi, that is the son Yaga Zakemhlong. I auditioned for that, and as a young person, I thought, nah, possibly I got the part.
Oh, and then you got the father's part.
So what happened was that immediately after audition, because we got in as pairs, after a week or two, I got a call that I should be on standby. There's a driver who's coming to pick me up. Okay. He came, Magic
Yes.
Tribe. I pick up. On the way, what's the story here? I don't know why it's a clue. I don't know. Harfit like Skulls films, Bariko, okay, get to makeup. Makeup, bang get out there. Bang agent. And then Maria about
And the scar.
And during that time, no now wedding. So I said to me, I should get a dialogue, the dialogue that I auditioned with. Gaita on a dialogue as but ka format ya motho moholo ka tsela ya motho moholo, and then aba fetsa mo banke tape here, they took it. Magic drove to the SABC to give it to the drama department bosses and stuff, and then bar discussed again. He came back with the tape, but no, it's approved. You are going to play the lead. Get Lydia in. I don't know the story. Can you brief me?
Yes.
Said, but no, congratulations. You are going to play Zake
Zake.
Mhlong. Okay, but what's the story? No, and then Bamfadi scripts and everything. That's how I got the role.
I was so scared of that man. I remember I was a kid watching that show.
But there was a twist, Montreal, because you know, production houses will always have somebody in mind. That they want, the producers and the director would want somebody to play the part. So they did not agree with the SABC.
Because then producers can have their own idea and the channel can have their own.
Yes, and channel said, no, we insist, we want him to play the part. And then first day I shoot, we didn't get along with the director.
Because channel is not there.
Yeah, and we didn't get along with the director. And he said to me, listen here, this is not comedy. This is serious drama. Get yourself together and do the scene. Just like that. I went outside, Kari, Mtaku, I'm not going to let him win. I'm going to prove him wrong. I did the scene. Voila. It was in the middle of the shoot. Okay.
It calms down.
Yeah, no, it's Namfutstan. By the end of the product. You know how we feel in Nusabita Joang?
Yeah.
We are not shooting in sequence.
Yeah.
Especially Talagawa File was challenging because Nali, with the scenes, Fatla was
Yeah.
straight, and then the next scene you have to backing his car.
Yeah.
Habakenya's car have to be older and
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
instability and the thinking and
There's that.
and all that.
You guys remember Talagawa File? Why do you feel?
So changing, I'll change
Yeah.
later the scenes. So that's where he noticed that no, Kari Mtaku wife was
Yeah.
So that is why when we did the scenes, the rain and everything. So
Oh, that rain scene.
yeah, so yeah.
That was, I imagine, for you. Obviously, that's the show now that really introduces South Africa to who this person is, and then you go on and do other characters that are different. Because I was saying to you before we started that you've been fortunate, and maybe we can call it fortune, right? Enough that you haven't fallen into the trap of being typecast. A lot of people, you kind of see the same person on almost every show, but then you're on Ubambolwane,
All right.
and
all right.
Mazwi was purveying you.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Actually, it was challenging me
Yes.
personally because you know how Mantsoe is. Mantsoe is spontaneous, just like Joe Mafela. Mantsoe would come up with something, and I had to. Gimme, he was a junior, so I didn't like some of the things that he did, but I had to respond positive so that, you know, it's give and take in these things. So, hi, it's an Toto, it's in reacted well as Barry, but after the shoot,
Yes,
friends.
Barry.
Yeah, next up.
Are you sitting there thinking, yo, this one is really trying me?
Yeah.
Barry.
It's serious.
And then obviously you've seen other characters, like Kasha, which was absolutely amazing. Just a legendary show in its own with everyone on there. That's just done amazingly. But a character that I think really warmed South Africa to you is a character that's not your favorite. And that's Zeb,
Yeah.
which was an image. I think the family that the Matabanis represented for a lot of black people was black love. And what it could look like. Obviously, later it becomes challenging when Bosi Chaba come in and that other lady that comes in later. But how was play? Because that was like 15, 16 years of playing that character. How is it that at the end of it all, you feel like that wasn't one of your favorites? Because it was a positive reflection to what black love could look like to the rest of us watching on the
And
other
it
side.
was very influential, and most people loved
Yes.
it. Not only black people, even whites and
Yes.
and colored people and Indians, they loved the Matabane family. It's just that I think I pitched the character very wrong from the beginning.
Okay.
So it's not that I hated Zeb as the character. I hated myself performing the character not to the best of my ability.
What do you mean by that?
I had challenges when I started ECDing. I was just fresh from the UK after doing a tour, 7 months. And I was in a serious predicament with my family. My wife left me. I was mixed up. So when I got the character, it was really challenging. And remember when we started this thing, the character Zeb was a union rep. More
It was
like
a comrade.
it was a vavi of
Yeah.
the show. So I couldn't crack it. At some point, I got ill and I was absent from a shoot for 3-4 days. I had stress as a serious, so it affected me a lot. So on coming back, because you have to cover up schedule, I did about 18 scenes in a day. All directors changing, but changes are exchanging. So it didn't give me enough time to plan for it, to do it the way I wanted it to. Even though people loved it, but me, not personally, no.
Did you feel like in that time that you felt like you had already false started with the character, you couldn't catch up to what you wanted it to be?
I couldn't.
It took its own shape.
Yeah, along the way, yeah. I had serious challenges then. Yeah, it was tough.
What people don't know also is that you're a producer, writer, and there's all these other things that you do. But to this day, with the legendary status that we can all bring forward with your career, is that I said this earlier that he's still rushing to an audition, and I think people don't audition anymore. What are some of the challenges you find when you walk into auditions? Because I imagine they're very different. Things changed. COVID, people were auditioning from home. You realize that now you.
Self-tape, I hate self-tape. I hate that.
I hate self tapes because I help my friends with self tapes. I have to read for them.
Yeah.
But what if what if it's
It's so difficult because the person will help you with the feed, to feed you
But
with
they
other
can't read
lines.
for you.
Yeah, they're not actors. They don't understand. So it sort of kills you. So it's much better to audition live.
Yeah.
The producers are there and everybody's there, the director, whoever. It's much better there than to do a self-tape. Self-tape, no, it's horrible. No, I don't like it.
I think one of the things that a lot of actors have said post COVID is, it's fine, we'll go back to auditioning physically. Self tapes have been very challenging, genuinely, because as friends and family, we're not the ones that do the art. So we'll just give you lines and you have to do all you can to deliver.
And some people are very slow, just read the line. And my daughter usually helps me with that. Come on, speed up. We need to move. Yeah. Yeah, but I still have butterflies when you audition.
Really?
Up to this day. Even, it's quite difficult, Acting is not easy. Acting is difficult. I'm doing Savage Beauty season 2.
Love it.
Now, yeah. And in films, like I said, that we're not shooting in sequence. So the first scenes that they call you, and the first scenes, Nekidi study extra, so we didn't have dialogue. My first shooting, one year dialogue, it gets so nervous because all these actors have been in the production. Each second season, they're comfortable in their roles, and you knew it's quite difficult.
How's it like working with the youngsters? Because I imagine that the industry also looks and feels different now. It works at a different pace also. How's it like when you get on set and you feel like, have I got all the experience? Or do you ever get on set and feel like it's time to see what the other side of this industry looks like now?
I'm a reserved person, especially when I start working with people for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm a reserved person, even with cast, and I'll just greet people and sit at my corner. Some people are flamboyant, they will cheer up and do things excited, but then I just look at them. Look, the young artists, they differ. Babang, I think it's based on the reasons why they are in the industry. There are young people who are very disciplined, who know what they want and who know what babatla. People like Bo Amutlati, Mishak Mavuso, guys that have worked with Chepo Masego, guys I've worked with before. They understand what but there are some other actors who would really disappoint you when you see them on set, or even got the auditions. Some people would be in a show one, and then becomes popular. The show becomes popular, not you with the actor, but because you are in that show, then therefore you think you are something bigger. So it depends on the attitudes about.
In fact, I like how you touched on the discipline and some young actors that you've acted with, because one of the things, Mutlazi sent me a voice note. What we'll do is we'll play the voice notes at the end. Is that fine? We'll play them at the end of the episode. Or do you want to play it now? We've got a voice note from Mutlazi and a voice note from Stumo. Because what I wanted to do was get two people that have played different characters in relation to you. A son and a rival. Because you and Stumo were at loggerheads on the estate.
Okay.
But equally, the two guys really love you. So they sent me voice notes. Which one are we going to start with, Stumo? But I think I'll put the rest of them like at the end of the episode. Let's just play the one that I have now. Just to tell you what they mean about
Hey, Mantsoe, you see right there, you are interviewing the legend of legends. I was so blessed to work with him and just be so close with him, his family in the show. But as a person, he was super incredible, and he's always been that kind of an artist. You'll find out where he comes from and what he's done to get to where he is. But overall, the artistry and talent that he is, some of us wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for him in terms of just crossing ways, and he's a gem, man. What a genius. He must tell you how he got the role of Umhlongo, which was one of the first shows that I loved him on, and he killed it. One of the greatest performances to ever come out of this industry. That man right
When
there.
you, that voice note is very long. Like I said, I think it's very important that we also put them on the episode.
Okay.
So I'll put it at the end of the episode, both the voice notes. That's Motlatsi. And I know that he's always spoken about the influence you had on him.
Okay.
Not only as a television dad, but really feeling like there's a real, genuine connection with this man. And I feel like he cares about me. What happens when you hear young people that you've worked with say this about you?
It's humbling. It's really humbling. I wasn't expecting it. That, you know, sometimes you say things and don't want to start us serious. It's really humbling. I'm grateful that that's how he sees me. Yeah.
Do you ever have moments? I want to I want to get to this Duma voice note, but before we get to that, do you ever have moments where you feel like I could have done that better, whether it's as a castmate or as a colleague on set? Because even with the influence, other people might have different opinions of you. You might have Mutlati that says this about you, but you might have someone that you feel like, maybe we're wrong on set. Do you ever feel like I could have done that better?
Yeah. You mean the character or to interact with some other people?
Interact with other people on set. Do you ever feel like that wasn't handled as well as I would have
Look,
liked?
we're human beings.
Yeah.
Some of us would get along with other people,
Yeah.
and others would find it difficult
Yeah.
to mix with them. Yeah, we do have that. But you brush it off and you don't show that person that you don't. Yeah, I always respect everybody that I work with.
That's actually what his voice note said. Let's get to the voice note, Stuma. This was a rival.
Baba, you mean so much to me as a person and my career. I think more than you'll ever know. Watching you since I was a child, sing Stupsi Smile. Oh, Smile. Like Kasha, which was a big influence in my life. And then, of course, your work gets stronger and better as the years go by. A performance that was so heartfelt. A performance for me that I was like as a child, trying to fathom that, trying to understand that as a child. You're an amazing soul. I enjoy even our chats on on Instagram, DMing each other.
Thank you. These voice notes of young men that it's not everyone that can have people that they've worked with them really see them as a father figure.
I'm so sorry. Kupa mfento.
Okay. It's in my handbag. Let me just get it.
I'm so sorry, but
It's okay. It's okay. It's love as well, right? And hearing love like this, I think a lot of the times.
No, the comments so will only hear them how much in most cases, people would send the messages positive to it, and when I as a person you're not aware that you have so much impact not only as an actor but as a person. Stumo Nawa was one of the actors. He's one of the actors that I admire from Akala actor in some parts, and he's also custom typecast. He can play any role at any time, and he's humble. And I never thought we'd be this close, and we are more closer now than we were when we were doing the estate. Like Instagram.
Yes, he says you guys DM each other all the time and talk on WhatsApp.
Yeah, so I never thought so it in touch with someone.
I'm gonna send you the voice notes. They're pretty long. I asked them. I said, just a minute long. I'm speaking to this person, and I think he needs to hear you guys what you think of him, because I know that the both of them, I know Stu and I know Mtlati, that they really, really, really love you. But they sent me 4-minute voice notes, both of them. So, so they're pretty long voice notes, and they say a lot more about the kind of person you are to them, but also to different people on set. And that's why I was asking you that, because they both speak about you as a person on set and how everyone just feels like you're warm, and maybe you don't know that because it's you. You're warm and people just gravitate towards you. Is this something that you're aware of, that people see you and you're almost like an open heart and they just come to you?
It's funny because some people would say I'm a very strict person. I don't
Professionally, I imagine
look
you are.
grumpy and stuff. So I'm wondering why. But there is a side of me, and like I said to you, Kwara up to direct Kwara Kaufel, and the set will be warm. Maybe those are the attributes.
What are some of the things that you really feel frustrated by with black entertainment and black television?
It's the approach, yeah, our black brothers and sisters who happen to have the opportunity of producing material that makes them more richer, more, they become, Baba too aloof.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Baba aloof.
Yeah.
You can't reach them.
Yeah.
Can't talk to them. Their phones, they don't respond. They become something else, where else they use us as actors to enrich themselves. We understand they took precedence from white producers, but most of them, babang ne actors, babang ne producers and stuff, but they understand the industry. They know where we come from. I think one person once tried, I don't know now, Gugu Zuma. Gugu Zuma one to a
Uzalo.
stained glass. Uzalo, when we went to Durban to do Uzalo. Because she was an actress, I don't know if ever she did that to me, fella, but the respect and Cheleta Fangiona.
I was speaking to Stefina Zwane about this, right? Because she's also been on the presenter actor side, and now as a director producer, she was saying it's so hard because you've been on the other side.
Yeah.
And when you on the other side where you're the boss now, you know the right thing to do. Why are people not doing the right thing?
Yeah. Problem yeah, but to kill na Kurubachahela udula modi estating, but rather the Kolo na did the diary and stuff. And then that is why some of their work shoddy, I'm sorry. Some of their work about it's not well researched. I don't know, from back compare Kikidi channel say that compels them to write such stories.
I do believe a big responsibility is on channels as well, because they commission these shows. We have a decay in storytelling in South Africa. The quality of stories, but also the level of edutainment that we had when I was growing up. My friend and I were talking about how we knew everything about HIV when we were kids, because there was everything teaching you about this thing. We knew not to talk to strangers because there was everything. There was a level of education and entertainment that was so crisp and clear on what it was trying to achieve. The black love, the seeing friends. There was that show of the different girls that were friends. Was it? I forgot it, man. Like the 4 girls that were besties, and what it looks like to be in your 20s and going into your 30s as a young black girl and wanting to achieve certain things in different industries and all these things. And I fail to find shows that inspire such right now.
Yeah, now, no. It's money-making scheme today. They don't want it. It's more sausage. Maybe it's a sausage factory. It's unfortunate because... it's unfortunate because, you know, some years back, we were talking Kanakwela and Alehola. SABC used to hire teachers as Boko Drama Department, people who understand how to project productions or educational elements. Today, I don't know where they get these commissioning editors who... Actually, I don't know, there are shows that are scary to watch on TV about adulting, you know. I'm happy at least Hunali Janung Shaga Ilembe. Inali, there was some elements. I think the producers also wanted to Kenya decide Kenya no because Barata Kenya
this thing.
So by Kenton too, but there is authenticity. How Shebile Shole, or there is, it gives you a sense of pride as an African person watching it. So this is us. So some of the shows that we watch, Boom Zant's Magic and some other programs, they are true. So.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know who told them more into sex on Elimbidere. There's
But
more
it's not
to life
just
than sex.
But it's not just sex, right? It's the extreme violence. It's the drugs everywhere. Like when you switch on the TV, it's all these negative things that you consume, and you go to bed and we don't know why we wake up and you're so anxious. We don't consume good television. I think we consume a lot of things that just are hectic and are heavy with the violence. It's almost as if there's only one black story you can tell, and that's a story of not peace, not fun.
But you watch the shows to go, especially from multi-choice. I don't know if it's deliberate now. Most of the shows, you watch all of them. You watch The Queen. Those people are rich, kalbakaladi drugs.
The family.
You watch The River. Lindiwe Bambiza Madlabandi. She kills people and get away with it. So hauna botsa bozalo motho chisa motho ba re ke mang mthakosa ke yeah. So hauna ditori tse sharp that would give you a family setup where utaba le ntate le family, see these young boys how they grow up, how they exchange into I don't know, maybe it could be time.
Do you turn down roles that you feel like are like that now? Have you gotten to a point in your life where you're like, I'm intentional in not telling that story anymore?
Yeah, when sister problem. Problem. Some people would always say I'm controversial.
I think you're telling the truth, though.
I have turned down quite a number of shows that are existing up to now.
Yeah.
Not only because of the storyline, but because approachable now, or the production house, I respect Tibatu. You know, today you go to, like I said to you now, today you get to audition, it's about Rumela, a brief. Your appointment is 10 o'clock. You'll be auditioning for this character. They send you a piece. You practice. You prepare yourself for that. When you get to set, more blocking your audition. Then you're waiting, or what is going on? But no, they haven't started yet. We're still waiting for the director. It's 10, 10:15, 10:30, 11, 11:30. Director is not there.
There's a lack of respect.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. So one of I'm sorry, it's an twin kimang director meeting super we are not going to disrespect me. Look at this. We take it like a 10 next. We don't even apologize. We don't come to the group.
Reduce to 2 hours.
No problem. This is what happened. Just to apologize. No, I wasn't cast for I know the reasons. So
they thought I would also go this.
Yeah, no. I was so good. Rona, some of us are very disciplined. And we respect every time. It doesn't matter what director.
That's true.
I listen to young boys about directing Baba Nyan. You know, Zalo, there was a guy, Spong saying he was about 21 or 22. He was a trainee at almost good on the direct. I would sit with him and discuss things, and we're still friends up to now. So it's not about age, it's about respect. And
what do you think young Don growing up in Vosloorus at 10 years old would say now to you?
I don't know. He'd probably laugh at me and really look at him as someone who has achieved something he never thought he would.
What would you say to young Don at 10?
Thank you, I made it. You know what is fulfilling key to be in a good space, and all the accolades and the voices that come to you and say, "Oh, Ntate, thank you so much." Wherever I go, people would say, "We love your work," and it's really humbling. It gives fulfillment. It's not about money all the time.
I obviously don't want to get into like the family thing, and we have to wrap up because you're rushing to your audition. But I know that your dad came into your life very late. What would you say to him if you had an opportunity?
He failed me many times. But I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I'll forgive him and I love him.
And to Mama?
She's my pride, my dignity. Not my dignity, she's my pride. She was a very fascinating woman, even though we're not that close. But before she passed, we were a bit close. She would come to my house and visit and share some few things with me. That opportunity helped me a lot to be a better person. Yeah.
This industry that you love so much, that you've given so much to, as we wrap up, if you could speak to the industry right now and you really plead with it, what would you say?
I would say the first thing, we must respect the craft and find the reason why we're doing it. And find another reason of why we're not respecting those who deserve respect. And also respect the industry as a whole, because it has got potential to change economy of country. We can be a better people using the arts to change lives.
Thank you so much for joining me.
No, you're welcome.
I wish there was no audition, but you know, you're a working man.
I'm sorry.
This was such a fun conversation. Thank you so much. I think you are a gift to this industry. I think you're a gift to South Africa. And I hope that this audition you're going to, you actually get the job. Good luck. Ladies and gents, Don Mlangeni Nawa was with me today. It was so beautiful. My lashes are even falling off because I've just been crying the whole time. But it was so beautiful. Show him some love, comments, subscribe, share it with your family. This was episode 9. Episode 9 of Moments with Mantsoe. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Ke a leboha.
Huleboha nna ngwaneso. Eita.
Cheers. Oh, I tried.